you've been feeling lonely recently, then I know how you feel. I've been feeling a lot of that too, you know. If you're a Christian like me, then you really care about doing the right thing, and you might even be feeling discouraged that people who claim to be Christians aren't, like, they don't care as much about doing the right thing. And like it's not necessarily shown in big ways, but like I don't know. I was at summer camp last year, and I was just discouraged because I was in a camp. I was in a tent full of guys my age, who they all came to this Christian camp, and I know that guys have a tendency to talk nasty. I am definitely guilty of doing that. I've been guilty of telling jokes that I shouldn't have told, but it just felt so discouraging because I had gone to camp craving like-minded Christian people to build me up, and I just came back feeling like I was doing something wrong because I was like none of the other Christians there. And I've been feeling discouraged about this all year. I didn't even, this was my last year to go to summer camp. I decided not to go for the first time ever. But today I had an experience that, I don't know, it changed my perception of what kind of people are out there. Just know that if you're feeling like me, then you're not alone. But I have one takeaway for you, and like a good YouTuber, I'm going to save it until the end of the video. So here it is. First, you should know I have a cousin who, if he was not obsessed with talking to me, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to at all. Praise the Lord for this guy. But he was talking to me about feeling lonely, wanting a girlfriend. Probably a topic for another video. It's a pretty interesting topic, but I don't want to go into it for now. But the point is that he wanted to meet people too. And so we decided to drive over to a coffee shop and just hang out there. We both brought some work to do. But we just decided to go. And this was the first time that I had ever done something like this. I'm 18. I just got my driver license, but I've not been feeling that confident driving. But we did it. And this was a little scary. It's something I'd been putting off for a while because it's human interaction. You don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable. But I wish I had gone sooner. It was such an interesting experience, you know? Going to a coffee shop beside a college campus, it's such, dude, the environment was amazing there. There were so many people my age, guys and girls, and they were not insane. It's like I hadn't talked to anybody other than my cousin, who I thought was a like-minded person. And then here at this coffee shop, crazy. There were so many people there. An example, there were not any tables left whenever we got there, but there were some benches that just lined the walls. So we went and sat at a corner bench. And it was not very comfortable, but we were just sitting there, and a couple guys sitting at a small table were like, hey, you want this chair to sit your stuff on? And we thanked them, and they gave us the chair. You know, they did something kind and considerate, something that I haven't really felt from anybody other than my cousin or my family in a while. And then, as we were sitting there doing our work, the people beside us were having a conversation about Christianity and about dating. One of them had just gotten married, I think, and was talking to the other one about his experience as a Christian. It was crazy. All of the conversation was so relevant. I know that God put me there for a reason. And I don't know if that reason was this video, but I just wanted to share that if you're feeling alone, go outside. If you can drive, then you have no excuse. You need to go and just do some of your work at a coffee shop. Not even necessarily a coffee shop, but I don't know, it's kind of the perfect spot because there are so many young adults in there, just smart young adults, because, I mean, clearly they were smart enough to come to the coffee shop. Anyways, that's my takeaway. That's what I want to give to you for this video. If you're feeling lonely, go outside. And if it's nighttime every time you're feeling lonely, write it down and go outside tomorrow. Obviously it's nighttime for me right now. I have trouble sleeping. Definitely a topic for another video if I end up continuing to make these. This is a new type of video for me to make, so let me know what you thought. I want to leave you off with a verse that it's not necessarily related, but it really has been helping me this week. It's funny, I didn't have this written down. All of this is improvised. But the verse is talking about, and you'll probably remember this verse. It's the wide and narrow gate, right? Jesus is talking about how the gate to heaven is narrow, and the gate to not heaven is wide. You get it. But it really, I don't know, that one really stuck with me this week because it reminded me that it's not easy to be a Christian, but it is possible. The gate is there for a reason. But it is a narrow gate, which means you have to make more of an effort. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I apologize for the unscriptedness of it, but I hope it was helpful. God bless, and I will hopefully see you again. Bye.